Hi everybody, this is TheHande and I'm doing something a little special. This is a commentary on game footage, as if you can't tell, but it's a little special because it's pre-recorded footage, so this is not a let's play. What I'm basically doing here is I'm going to show off the whole Nico chapter, or the Phoenix chapter in Broken Sword for the Angel of Death, also known as The Secrets of the Ark. The worst Broken Sword game of all. And if you see my review of that, you'll know why I hate it so much. The reason I decided to do this was because I basically filmed the entire Phoenix chapter when I was playing as Nico. And, you know, just so that I could use it in the video, because I didn't know if there were going to be some nice bits that I could use. And, that, first of all, that running animation of Nico just cracks me up. But, oh, and we have the return of the dreaded box-moving puzzles. Like, if there's something I can genuinely say that they actually did slightly better in this game than they did in the Sleeping Dragon, is that there were a lot less. They really cut back on these box-moving puzzles in this game compared to the third game, because in the third game it was just ridiculous how many you had to do. But yeah, this video is a little chopped up in places. Because the program that I use this, as if you can't tell, is Bandicam, and Bandicam, it's the trial version Bandicam, so it leaves a watermark, and I can only take 10 minutes of footage at a time, which most of the time is okay. But because I was recording this whole chapter, and I did record pretty much the whole chapter, there's only one little bit that I left out, and one little bit I've also edited out just because it wasn't very interesting to look at. But I'm also going to put up a version of this video where I'm not talking over it. So basically, we're going to Phoenix as Nico to look for Maynard, a nerd who's making monatomic gold. And monatomic gold is what the alchemists were trying to do, making gold out of base lead. And it's also in the premise of this game, it's also the mana from heaven, or the thing that comes out of the or powers the Ark of the Covenant. And here we have a little bit of those climbing mechanics. I don't think they really used the climbing mechanics in this game really well. And this is really the first legit puzzle. Like, you had that little box-moving puzzle. Actually, I thought when I was doing this that I actually fucked up this puzzle. But, yeah, because I accidentally pulled the thing while I was supposed to be pushing this antenna thing. And yes, the puzzle is just, you're going to lunge a rock. Oh, I think this is actually the moment. I thought I fucked up here, so I just decided to give it a shot and see how far I was. But it actually turned out I was right on target, so you're just using this as a catapult to throw a rock at that ladder. And that's the thing I hate about the animations in this one, is that they're just really shoddy. Oh, by the way, I am not fucking around in this part. I honestly could not get down from this rooftop here. Like, this is how fucking broken this game is. It's little things like this that really... Like, you can see, she's just shrugging it off. I'm clearly clicking the icon that tells me to climb down. Or maybe it's the climb up icon, which makes even less sense. And now, somehow, I managed to get her foot on that. Nico can really climb on high heels, I gotta say. Nico's design, I think she looks okay in this game. Her voice actress, I don't really care for, but she's not bad. Like, I can't say that the Broken Sword games, like, surprisingly, like, the games Broken Sword games that actually have, like, slightly mixed bag, or not like really excellent voice acting. Surprisingly, they're usually my favorite games. I don't know, because I think there's so much things in those other Broken Sword games that makes up for the fact that makes up for it. And, you know, some of those side characters you can just ignore. You don't have to necessarily talk to them, or you can... This really shows, in my view, the kind of weakness of some of the puzzle design, and I hate this little animation. You see the box drop? Like, that doesn't look like it's animated. It just literally looks like the model is just falling straight down. That's just horrible. That's a shoddy, and especially because they show like animations of like George tipping over like a cabinet earlier in the game. Like, you can clearly tell that they could do it. I don't know what went on in this. It looks like they just fired all the animators that they used in the third game, because the third game's cutscene animations and even in-game animations were really good. I complained about the lack of facial expressions. That's like the biggest problem it's not a big problem in this chapter, in a few places, yeah, but actually this chapter is pretty decent. But you know, even in like the fact was that there's no idle animations for any of these characters. Oh, here, this is a nice way to take you out of the game, is to just have a real photograph of a character. I don't know, personally I don't actually mind so much, but it is, yeah, this is, it's going to cut away here, because it took me a while to get that puzzle done, and I realized that, oh, it's not that. I used the footage, I think I used the footage in the review video, because I wanted to show as much of the hacking puzzles. And the hacking puzzles are actually one of the few good things about this game. Like, I know some people hate those kinds of where you suddenly get a board, and all of a sudden it shows, like, some people feel that it might take you out of the game when you have to solve that kind of a very... It's a very sort of... It's a puzzle for the sake of having a puzzle sort of scenario. Oh, she pulled the door and it opened out. Like, little things like that are what really just pissed me off about this game. It's just they couldn't get little things like that right. Oh god, this is another thing, is like... Okay, Broken Sword 3 also, I think, was a little guilty. It had a lot of empty corridors, where you just ran, and you didn't have to do anything. But I think because the music was good, because the atmosphere was great, and because you were generally invested in the story, it didn't matter. Like, it just built up the tension and the excitement a little bit. Oh, I fucked this part up, actually. Like, I was going to go for that letter, and Nico has a line that she says, and then she falls into the pit. Somehow I fucked that up, and I just fell flat into the pit.
Where am I? Anyone there?
Because I played this game through twice in preparation to make the video. The first time I didn't film anything. I just wanted to play it through just so that I remember all the puzzles and all the important bits. And then so that when I was filming, I didn't have to go like filming every single moment from the game. I didn't fuck around too much with this. Actually, I think I fucked around a bit more when I wasn't actually filming this. And what it resulted in was me basically, like, causing all kinds of bugs and shit to happen. Like that pipe that was in this kitchen room, you see that pipe near the door. I actually somehow managed to get Nico lodged between the wall and the pipe. One time I had to reload it. Although I think, I'm not sure if there's any real game-breaking bugs in this game. And that's another thing. That was also a bit of a problem, but I think for some reason it looked a bit smoother. Yeah, I think I'm saving the game here. Just so in case I get stuck on anything.
Oh my god, a different smell.
And
Bad. At a guess.
Yes, and this also this Phoenix facility. When I played it the first time around, it's actually kind of confusing. The geography isn't very clear the first time around when you play it, but yeah, when I was playing it the second time, I kind of remembered where everything was. That's why I went to the kitchen and I got all of this stuff ahead of time, because I knew I was going to need it for all the puzzles in this place. There aren't actually that many. Like the hook, the oil that I'm about to get out of that. Out of that. I shouldn't laugh too much at that, because Broken Sword 3 did have a few sloppy moments where people were... But as for door opening, like one of the most creepy things in this game is... I think we're going to see this puzzle. I didn't edit this at all. We're going to see how I solved this puzzle, because it was pretty easy. But, yeah... the creepiest, like, bug in this game is the ghost doors. Like, literally doors that just open by themselves. And... and it is just really, really... I don't know why, and I don't know why why it does that, because there shouldn't be any reason why they couldn't have animated characters like actually just reaching for the door and things like that. I think I got a little stuck on this one again, because it took me a while to realize that I needed one of those pieces down there, or that I could reflect the beam off of something else. Also, I like the music in the hacking puzzles. That's another reason why I liked it. This game is a horrible, mediocre adventure game, but it has awesome music. Like, that's always been a bit of a... It's always kind of weird when you have games that are clearly really bad, but they have really good music. Castlevania 2 is I think one classic example that it has amazing music, but it's a horrible game. I think I'm going in the wrong direction in the stairs. Oh, no, because this is the second floor. Yeah. So you basically, you had to hack. You had to hack the doors open. That's kind of a weird thing. I had forgotten about that part. I only knew that you had...
Locked with an old-fashioned lock.
And I actually got stuck in this game like twice when I was playing it the first time, because I forgot that you had to hack Anna Maria's computer, which is something. It's something I think it's kind of badly prefaced. Okay, here we get the cutscene, which is the other perspective of the cutscene in which we thought Nico had been killed by the mobsters. So yeah, we have Fingers, I guess his name is. I have a hard time remembering any of the character names. Yeah, Fingers. And there actually is somebody called Tony in this, because you got when it's mobster. This is something I hate, is that they completely changed it, because it was at this point when the main art actually comes in. That's the only time there's any real expressions on Nico's face, I think. This and when she's when they enter Pasha Palace as in the nun getup. I have that part also online on this channel. And here's main art. No muzzle flashes on the gun, I noticed. Not muzzle flashes on the gun.
At a guess, I'd say mafia.
I love the way... I do kind of like the way she pronounces things. Like, she has a very French accent, this actress of Nico's. And like I said in the review video, Nico's voice actress changes from every game. My personal favorite is the second one. Some people criticize that her acting in that game isn't very, that it's a bit underscored, underplayed a little bit, which I personally don't mind, because I like having a bit of a more calmer character. I think my second favorite has to be her voice from the Sleeping Dragon, and also in Sleeping Dragon, again, compared to this game, it's also the haircut. I miss Nico's classic haircut, but they're bringing it back for the 5th game, so that's going to be nice. But I miss the haircut, and also in the 3rd game, she has some brilliant facial expressions, like the intro to the Egypt chapter. You gotta watch that one when she's sneaking around, and she makes the tree fall over, and... the eye animation on the 3rd game was it was amazing. And this game just does not compare. This is what you have for almost all dialogue scenes. It's just characters standing around, pretty much perfectly still, only moving their mouths. Oh yeah, the control panel. That was kind of funny, because you can kind of tell. I didn't notice it at first, but every single time when we get to the close-up part, I noticed that, oh man, they completely stole this off the command bridge of the Enterprise, basically. This is a cool camera angle. Like, this is the thing, is that there are some really impressive camera angles and camera moves, but the character animation is just awful. I don't know. I don't know how they managed to... like, look at that. Like, Nico... Her eyebrows were moving, her mouth was moving, but nothing else. She was otherwise perfectly still. Like, it gives a very choppy impression. It makes this game look a lot less professional than it really should be, because Revolution is even at this time when they made this, they were already a well-established company. They should have found, you know. Also, Maynard as a character, I think, is a disappointment. When he shows up, you know, I was kind of expecting something a bit more awesome, but now we see that he's basically just he's a nut job. He's immature, and he's a power-hungry, money-hungry... He's a slime ball, basically. I mean, he does save Nico, but he really is just a slime ball.
I hate her.
And I think this is really Nico being honest about the fact that she really does hate Anna Maria. Something that I do have to say, I've never understood why Revolution thought it was a good idea to have George and Nico break up between Broken Sword 2 and Broken Sword 3. And, you know, the romance angle, it worked really well in Broken Sword 2, I think. Like, I like the fact that they were really friendly with each other. And even in the 3rd game, even though they broke up, you know, George and Nico, they still... You know, they still have this wonderful repartee. I don't know if they just wanted to get the anger out of them as well. because they were so disappointed with each other from time to time.
I don't have the code to open
Oh,
it,
okay, getting
but
up
I'm
on
not
this
going to
safe is
guess.
also really... Well, until you realize that you're supposed to just click the top of the screen like that. But that's really stupid design, because I assume, just because of the way how much climbing there's been up in this game, not as much as in the third game, but just because there has been a lot of climbing in this game, I assume... Oh, here I tried to solve a puzzle that isn't even active yet. That's what's going on here. I forgot that... At this point, I forgot that... I thought that maybe I have to activate this thing, but actually I'm supposed to use the oil on the hook
Wired up, I guess.
to get it moving. Or not the hook, the chain. And then I use the hook on the chain to
I
finally
can't
lift the
hold two pieces of wire
safe.
together,
And
but they won't stay there when I let go.
and if you see me just running around randomly, I did actually try to kind of get the game... Okay, I did manage to solve the puzzle. But if you see me running around kind of for no reason, I just wanted to try kind of see if it was easy to get this game to glitch. Because I was afraid all through the game that the second time around I was going to be very, very careful, because I did manage to get the game glitch quite a few times when I played it the first time and when I wasn't recording footage, and I thought second time I'm going to be so paranoid about glitches that I'm not going to get any on film or on video, basically. This is also, it's kind of confusing that they put the switch over there and then this thing doesn't become active until you've tried it out. I mean, it's good puzzle design, but it's kind of the same problem with something you can't pick up in an adventure game. Because I have a tendency of trying to kind of pick up everything the first time around so I can know what items I can interact with and which ones I can't. And when the game suddenly then turns an item you couldn't interact with into an item you can interact with later in the game, I always find that very disorienting and confusing. Here we do have... Overall, though, this is actually a really good chapter from a puzzle design point of view. Like, I didn't feel like I was just walking around getting a lot of exposition. I felt that there were genuinely some actual brain work involved in this part, or thought process involved in solving these puzzles. It's just that it's over so quickly. Like, this almost feels like it's a little side chapter to everything. This is something I hate, is that Maynard takes such a long time to get over there. And it is every time. I don't think he ever leaves the pit. But when you ask him to fix the thing that activates these conveyor belts, or not conveyor belts, but these rollers, then okay, this is one of those.
I can move all the rollers at once.
This is one of those puzzles that really you don't have to think about too much to solve. And I'm always kind of conflicted on these kinds of puzzles. Like, yeah, it's kind of fun that you can just try it out and try your luck at solving it. Actually, I kind of feel like the trapdoor floor puzzle towards the end of the game is kind of like that. Is that you can be very careful and just jot down all the things that you can and can't walk on afterwards, but you learn the route pretty quickly just by trying it out. So there's no real motivation to try and get it right the first time. And actually, I'm kind of curious how I managed to pull this one off. Oh yeah, this is how I did it. I just squeezed those together, and now I got a clear run to the centrifuge, where Maynard makes a monatomic gold, and where he will eventually die. It's such a gimme. You can tell that that's exactly how he's gonna die, actually. I don't think there was any doubt in my mind when I played this chapter. Oh yeah, he's gonna turn into gold and explode, but I was actually expecting it to be bit. Actually, I kind of like that little line Nico has there. But somehow I saw it like I saw it from a mile away that it was gonna happen. Also, I hate that characters clipping through each other. Like, I wasn't even trying when Nico walked through George when I was talking to Archie the Bum earlier in the game. Like, that happened all by itself, and I was just delighted, because I was just trying to get some footage off of Archie, and I just got that random bit where Nico just walks past George. Look at that. He moves his head just the tiniest bit to indicate that he's kind of involved. Like, this is about the most subtle... This is about the most idle animation you're gonna get in all of the game.
Are you sure that's safe?
Safe?
I think even the deaths in this game are the few times you can actually die in this game are really anticlimactic. Like the thing in the trapped floor section is this big pillar that comes down and is supposed to smash George, but it just fades to black when you do that. At least it does. I don't know. Is it different in the American version? Maybe. I don't know why they're trying to kind of... They're just taking the gore and death out of Broken Sword, and I think it belongs... In my view, it's a natural part of it, that people die in these games, and they sometimes die very painfully. Like, I see it as that kind of a game. I see it as a game where your actions have consequences, you can't fuck around with it, or you will get killed somewhere down the line. Not always. I think the Broken Sword games have always been very clever about that. They're not like the Sierra games, like the old school Sierra games where you can die from doing like the most insignificant thing. Okay, here's the moment. Here's where Maynard... Like, this is... I expected this moment to be a lot more epic. I knew this was going to happen. And it's pretty good, but I actually kind of hoped that he would have, like, turned into gold before he explodes. So there you go, that's the goriest death in the whole game. Because he basically, you later see those little bits of gold on the floor when you enter the centrifuge. Those are basically just little bits of Maynard in there. Oh yes, and in case you were confused, that he had a release button, a safety release button inside the centrifuge. Dude, I think that is a major design oversight. And I was wondering, you know, I was even wondering if I could actually like open the door and stop him from dying, but apparently it's not possible.
I know that, you idiot, but what did it do?
And here's the mobsters again. They came back.
Girl, but watch out. That maniac's gotta be around somewhere.
Tony. Oh yeah, this was Vito. Vito is Scarface. No. Tony was Scarface. Vito was Scarface 2.0.
Time to get out of here. And
Tony actually gets killed. Like that's actually one of the few really chilling moments in this game is when you're running around the meat factory. I didn't show it in the video, but you can actually find like a chair with a cleaver stuck to it and a puddle of blood under it. Like, that's the most creepiest that this game actually got for me. Is like that was some legit mobster shit. I'm not sure if I was fucking around here or whether literally I can get Nico to walk straight. Because sometimes even I can't tell. When I was making the preview for the second video, I hadn't shot anything a lot. I just shot the intro. Then I didn't have a lot of things to go. Oh, you're gonna see Vito when he opens the door and then he gets off, or his model jumps backwards. There. I hate it. This game is full of moments like that. It's like they couldn't line the characters up right because they wanted an animation to start and end at a certain point. Then they just artificially have the characters kind of turn within a split second. It's not to say like the third game didn't have those moments, but they were a lot less frequent. Like the third game, they just took a lot more care. Oh, I managed to get Nico actually the glitch on these stairs one time in a really weird way. I wish I would have caught it on film or on video because it looked so. And that's the most pathetic looking falling down animation I've ever seen. Like, it literally looks like he intentionally just stuck to the wall and then fell over. That looks like the most faked. Like, it just looks like the most faked injury ever. Oh yeah, this is another thing. She did actually reach for the door, which I'm actually kind of impressed with. And you have to remember to lock it. And we have another empty room coming around.
Time to get out of there.
After this part, but then the chapter's basically over. Well, I hope you like that. I'm not sure if I'm going to bring more of these kinds of videos because it's more interesting in my view to just play these games rather than just talk over them.
That was close.
But yeah, I think I hope I've demonstrated sort of the horrible shoddiness of this of this game in this chapter. And this really is the only full-length chapter that you get to play as Nico. The other one, you only get to play as a little bit as the nun. And like I said, I have the video of that on the channel. And here's Chico. Yeah, Chico is Grandpa.
Boss isn't very happy about this.
Yep, it's a screw-up, alright. Actually, he's one of the few characters in this game that I actually like. Him and Archie and Mark. Pretty much the only decent characters in this game.
Just putting him on now.
Okay, so see you next time.